Lucky Boys Podcast.
Crime rate is up. Numbers are up severely, and there's complaints that police officers are just kind of just letting it happen, especially in the lower income areas.
Okay, I hear the criticism. It's I'm not going to speak for the department itself, obviously, but in general, in the summertime, violence usually escalates anyway.
Very true.
So because people just come out and I guess the heat gets to them and they just go buck wild and they just lose
that's
it.
very true.
Isolation makes them go crazy.
And you have to
the
isolate.
isolation doesn't help. Yeah.
That's not helping. And the joblessness, obviously.
The joblessness. People are frustrated.
So there's a whole bunch of elements at play that might contribute to overall uptick in crime. Mm-hmm. But then you also have this initiative now that the city is pushing through, which is, okay, we're going to take plainclothes officer off the streets. Mm-hmm. We're going to take all the plainclothes officers off the street and put them back on patrol or doing some other assignment. Well, guess what? What do you think is going to happen? Now there's no fear of getting pulled up on by a plainclothes officer that if you were doing something stupid, there's literally nothing to keep these bangers from there's nothing to keep them honest. Mm-hmm. Right? Like if you lived on a problem block and our plainclothes officers in an unmarked car rolls by and they see something, because, in a marked car, you're not going to see everything because they know you're coming a mile away, right? If you're in an unmarked car, there's still that element of fear that you strike in some of these people's heart.
Is that uncertainty? Like, could this person...
someone could just pull up on me and, I'm doing something stupid like playing 3 dice CeeLo or whatever, whatever it is.
No, I'm not talking about
but a guy like
little crime like that.
No, I know. But that's what I'm saying.
I'm talking about like murders.
But that's the stuff that can lead to a gun arrest. It's completely plausible because if you stop the guy, right, for playing dice on the street, you don't necessarily have to arrest him, right? You should, but in the process of arresting him, you have to pat him down, make sure he doesn't have weapons, right? Search incidental to lawful arrest.
Wait, hold on. If I'm rolling dice on a sidewalk, you can arrest me for that?
Yeah. If you're playing it for money and there's money in someone's hand.
So like
illegal gambling.
So for example, if Norm, me,
game of chance,
and a buddy, we had a blackjack and we were playing blackjack and we had like dollars. You could arrest me for that?
Games of chance.
Holy shit!
Wait, this is only in public, right?
That's wild.
Like, let's say like I have a Texas Hold'em play
poker. No.
Yeah, it's different.
Right.
In public, if you're doing it and there's a crowd, you draw attention to yourself and people call it in and it becomes a thing. We have every right to like come up to you, investigate.
That's a crime. I did not know that.
That's a crime. Games of chance in public. If you're doing it with strangers for money and you're exchanging money, then yes. But here's the thing, like. A lot of people think we just stop people frivolously. Like a lot of plainclothes guys, they just like people just like, oh, yo, man, these guys just stopped them and patted them down for no reason. Mm-hmm. There's usually a reason behind it. You just don't know. It could be for jaywalking. So here's another violation that people don't know about. Like if you cross the street while the light is blinking red, I could stop you for that. I could stop you for that. That's a violation. Mm-hmm. People don't know that. You're not supposed to cross when it's blinking red.
I think cops are pretty cool with that. Like
I know.
Like I'm saying this is New York. People jaywalk 24/7. If cops wanted to, they could.
Someone codified it into the penal law, and I'm just like,
arrest everyone crossing the street because you could just wait on the corner all day.
I could stop you for spitting on the sidewalk.
Yeah. But most cops don't. Like cops, at least in my experience, I haven't seen cops take it to that extreme.
Yeah,
like where
it's
that's
pretty
a norm.
going out here.
Yeah,
but then when you go out upstate or a different area,
because I've literally jaywalked in front of cops.
Yeah, and
they were just cool.
Some people don't mind.
They don't. They're just like
there will be people that mind eventually. But here's the reason why it's I guess an effective tool to use for the basis of a stop, because let's say you saw a wanted poster, you got transferred to a new precinct. You saw a wanted poster and you see the face, right? Mm-hmm. You see a guy, like you go back out on patrol, you see a guy that's crossing a street against the red light and it's like, hey, that guy kind of looks like the guy that was on the wanted poster. Guess what? He just crossed against the red light. And it seems frivolous to the layperson, like, why are you stopping him for jaywalking? Mm-hmm. Why? Mm-hmm. Or crossing against the red light, whatever. Jaywalking's a little different. It's like crisscrossing the street. Right. Mm-hmm. But he's crossing the red light. Everyone does that all the time, officer. Why are you giving him a hard time? Yo, listen, man, you don't even know what the hell is going through my mind and why I'm stopping him. Mm-hmm. You don't know this, but people prejudge anyway. It's like, oh, you're just hassling him because he's black, Hispanic, he's a minority, blah, blah, blah. You have no right to bother him. Guess what? Some cop did that in the precinct that they worked at. Got a murderer off the street.
Because
two guys I know.
Because he was
he
wanted?
recognized the photo.
But that's what I'm saying.
they
And that's
recognize it.
justifiable. If you see someone that
to the
matches
public-
a wanted poster, I mean,
No,
duh.
no, but
you
the
know?
public does not know that.
The perception of the
I would,
outsider.
I would be okay with him going up to him if he was just walking and just crossing the street regularly, and he had the right of way, and a cop came up and said, "Yo, you look just like this dude, and I'm arresting you." Like, you know, like I'm okay with that. That doesn't bother me. I don't care what color you are.
That's a stop.
That's a job. That's a job of a police officer.
That's like a
to
Terry
take-
stop, though.
To take criminals off the street. I'm okay with that.
That's a Terry stop. You need a little more to just stop
Really?
him. Yeah.
If I have a picture of Norm and he's a fucking criminal and I'm a police officer,
But you don't know that for sure until you get up close sometimes.
Yeah, so I
that's
would
the
go.
thing.
So I could just walk up to him and then I'm going,
anyway.
yo, he looks.
Yeah, stops are really complicated. They do get complicated sometimes because, you know, you might miss a step or someone's going to chew you out and just throw out the case because you missed something or you did something wrong.
All right, so
It's
back to
just
the
a very-
crime
yeah.
rate. Like it can't just be all attributed to the summertime because they're
No,
looking at
I'm
year
not
over
attributing
year.
to that. I mean, I qualified it with saying that, you know, now you have this disbandment of the anti-crime units.
Right, exactly. Let's talk about
Plainclothes guys.
that.
No one brings that up, though.
So the anti-crime unit is the plainclothes police officers.
That is the plainclothes police officers.
Got it.
So
All right.
why did they disband it?
Because I don't know. You're gonna have to ask the leadership, like, you know, city council, the mayor, police commissioner. I mean, I'm pretty sure that order. I think it came down from the police commissioner, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm sure there was a lot of discussion about it because it creates more trust. That's the basis of creating such a policy. Now, whether or not it contributes to
sorry. It creates more trust to have plainclothes police officers.
No,
The other way around. To have them uniformed so that you could identify them.
But now you've taken the element of surprise away, and you know they justify it and they say, well, yeah, it creates more trust and transparency between the community and the police department. Now, I don't know if that's going to be true or whether or not it is true, but I mean,
So why do you think?
I'm not sure if there's a cause and effect relationship.
I don't think.
I think there is.
I don't think it's just that though. I don't think that's a singular reason of why crime is up. For some reason, criminals think that, and they are literally getting away with murder now. For whatever reason, they know like now's the time to get someone.
Right.
It's the purge.
Again, it's a multi
way, yeah.
The uptick in crime is a multifaceted thing. So
Like
you have
record breaking.
Right.
July 4th was like insane.
But let me just get to it. So I mean, I pointed to the disbandment of the anti-crime units, right? I mentioned the unemployment rate, people going crazy at home. Now they're getting out. And then you also have, you still have rolling protests going on. So the NYPD is actually short-staffed as it is. So then they still wanted to fund us anyway. But like you have cops that are allocated to protests. So that means less cops on patrol.
All their efforts are
Right.
manpower is being redirected to.
It's being
other-
redirected.
So you're saying the resources are being allocated
They're stretched right now.
in other ways so that they can't address the real problems.
It's not that we can't do more with less. The problem is that when you consistently have like a shortage of manpower at the precinct level, you're going to get an uptick in something. In fact, I have friends that were in a completely different division. Like now they're patrolling in the Bronx because there's no people to man the precinct. There's not enough people. And then you mix that in with COVID infections. Not that they're really, not that it's a big thing now, I guess, because the rates have been going down. But you have people being redirected, anti-crime being whatever.
Actually,
disbanded.
rates have been going up. Well, depending what state.
It's slowly, yeah. New York, I think it's still on the, it's kind of low right now.
Yeah.
It's on a downturn, might be ticking up again. But you have all these factors, and it's a multifaceted thing. You can't just say, oh, well, the cops are just not doing anything. You know,
it's not purposeful where the police are not taking calls.
It's not willful
Malfeasance.
negligence.
Yeah.
You know, like that. We just don't want to do our jobs. Our job is to protect and serve, right? It's to enforce.
Yeah.
And you can't really effectively do that all the time when you have less tools and less manpower. And you're always if you're
But are police officers trying to prove a point?
I don't think.
Hey, you want to defund me?
No.
And I'm just asking a question here because, just a coincidence. It seems that crime has gone up since people has been more vocal about defunding the police.
Right. I don't believe that police are skirting their responsibilities. I really hate to think that any officer is like
Rashad
that.
Brooks case.
Oh, the Wendy's thing.
They're not even answering 911 calls. That was right on in the news.
Right. I saw it too.
It's not like a
but again,
conspiracy. It's the news actually reported that.
I don't know what's going on in Atlanta necessarily, because I mean I know enough about the whole situation, but I don't know why they didn't respond. Maybe there was something else going on.
Now with
Who knows?
NYPD, I know
don't
NYPD right now, the public's perception across the nation, they just have a real. I mean, there's memes about the NYPD,
Right.
with this
It's
aggressive
all
force
time low. Perception of police just across the country is all time low.
Honestly, like the perception of police was never really that high to begin with, except during 9/11. I mean, I hate to sound cynical about it, but I mean, would you guys agree that the public perception of police was all time high at 9/11, and then every other instance before that, it was never really held.
But
in
in
high
9/11,
regard.
you guys were motherfucking heroes.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
You guys took one in the chin. The fire department did, EMTs. I mean, all
Right.
of you guys came through and shined for us.
and that
was, I mean, that was beautiful.
Right,
That was really beautiful.
and that went away real fast. It went away real fast. It's just like the COVID-19 pandemic when it first hit. Oh man, first responders, man. Oh man, they're like heroes on the front lines.
I think people still look at them
and
like
then,
that.
And then all it took was Rayshard Brooks, Breonna Taylor, and George Floyd. That's all it took. This
But
completely just
Breonna
destroy
Taylor,
that.
that was fucked up.
It's a fucked up situation. Oh,
She's
shit.
super. She's innocent.
Well, yes, she's an innocent victim
It's
in
been
all of
proven
this.
she's sleeping
Right.
with, and her boyfriend.